not running on the backside?
Yeah, it's thin paper. Okay, here we go. 4-2, day 3. Everything comes together today. I know, that's why I gave it to you. Here's a red one. You want a red one that I think works a little better?
We do topics that really don't pertain to anything. Because like there's nothing to do.
Yep.
Like we already know.
Okay, there's everything today. We're going to have our vertical shift, amplitude, period change, phase shift. Everything in each one today.
But remember, it's Friday.
Yep. Well, the only thing that's harder is throwing in that vertical shift. I think the X's won't be as bad for you today. They were a big challenge on Wednesday because it was new with that new starting point. It wasn't 0. But I think you're at least used to it a little bit. All right, let's go 2 minus sine parenthesis 3x minus pi over 5. Okay, first question, is it in standard form?
No.
What do I got to do? And what number am I actually taking out? What is my B number? 3. Whatever you see here, that's what comes out. So, 2 minus sine. But the process to take it out is to divide. So we divide by 3. What's the same as dividing by 3 here? That's going to make my life easier. Times by 1/3, because it's next to a fraction. So, that'll give me x minus pi over 15. Yep. Okay, now we pick out our 4 characteristics, I guess you'd call them. Amplitude is not 0. Christian, what is it? 1. What? With a flip. 1 with a flip. Okay? Period is not 3. That's the B number. What is it? 2 pi. Divide by the B, which is a 3. That doesn't simplify, so 2 pi over 3. Vertical shift. We got some. It's the 2 that's at the beginning. Yeah.
Good.
How are you today?
All handsome. Like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Can I put this here for?
Yeah. I won't even touch that. Okay. Phase. What do we got for phase? Pi over 15. A positive pi over 15, or pi over 15 to the right. Any questions on any of those 4 things?
Wait,
All good?
The split, how did you?
Because it's a minus here.
Oh.
That's like a minus, and there'd be like a 1 there that we don't write down. Minus 1 sign.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Where do we get our first x value from? The phase. The phase is always the starting x value. If there is no phase, then it starts at 0. But if there is phase that's not 0, that's our starting x value. So phase always goes here. Pi over 15. What's the process to see where it's going to complete one full cycle at? You got it. Phase plus period. So that would be off to the side. Phase is 1/15. Period is 2/3. You get yourself a common denominator. What's this going to turn into? We multiply by 5 and by 5. That'll give me a 10. 16 over 15?
No, what?
Oh, 10, 11. 11. I don't know where I got 16 from. 11. My bad. 11 pi over 15. Okay. Now do your averaging to get the middle. midline, Mackenzie. Okay, here we go, averaging 1/15 plus 11/15,
6/15.
12/15, half of that is 6/15. 6/15 reduces to, let's see, 3 goes into there 2 times, 2/5? You want to try that on your own? Okay, I'm going to keep the 6/15 here. 6/15 plus 1/15 is 7/15. Half of that is 7/30. Times by a half. And then over here, 6 and 11 is 17/15. Half of that is 17/30. Okay. Now our Y values. But remember, we have vertical shift. Where does this vertical shift number come into play on my Y values? The axis values. Remember, your axis values are always your vertical shift. Well, because we've got sine, where are my axis values at? The first, the middle, and the last. So my axis values are 2 because we have vertical shift. And now it's going to have a flip. If you want to make the sketch, you can, but try to see it in your head. So I'm at 2, and I'm going to go up or down? Down. How far down am I going to go? 1. So if I'm at 2, I go down 1. Where am I going to be at? 1. I'm back at 2, and I go up 1. Where am I going to be at? 3.
So that's
Yeah, if we had vertical shift, that was down 2.
oh, okay.
Yeah, just the up, vertical's the up and down. Okay? Second table. This is going to be our last day for 2 tables also. When we do the other trig functions, I think you've had enough practice with 2 tables, we're just going to do 1 table. So this is your last day with 2 tables. Okay, so we start at the same spot, pi over 15. Pi over 15. Now we're going to go phase minus a period length. So that's 1/15 minus the 2/3. Get a common denominator. So 1 minus 10 is negative 9/15. Reduced down is negative 3 pi over 5. Okay, averaging. I'm going to go with my negative 9/15 that I wrote over here because it's got the common denominator. So adding 1 plus a negative 9, that's negative 8/15. Half of that is negative 4/15. Using negative 9/15, so I got a common denominator. I'm just averaging, so it's 1/15 plus negative 9/15. So 1 plus a negative 9 is negative 8/15, and then half of that. Okay, the next one, 1/15 plus a negative 4/15 is negative 3/15. Half of that negative 3 over 30, that reduces down to negative 1/10. Don't need the 1 there, but I had already written the 3, so I had to cover it up. If you need to write them down, just write them down. And then our last one, negative 4 plus a negative 9 is negative 13/15 times by a half. Negative 13/30. Those are ugly. Okay, the y's are the easy part. Your axis values are the same, first, middle, last, those are all 2's. And then we flip-flop the max and min on signs. So this is going to be your 3, this is going to be your 1. Okay, nowhere across the x's did we hit a 0 so that we were on the y-axis. So don't bother with your y-axis at this point. Start with your x-axis. Put your 9 tick marks on here, evenly spaced. So our furthest value out to the right is the 11 pi over 15. To the left, negative 3 pi over 5. The one in the middle, which is the 5th point in, is our pi over 15. Okay, I kind of need to know where I go from negative to positive so I know my y-axis is in there. Where does that happen at? Where do I go from positive to negative or negative to positive?
Negative pi up to the right after this.
Yeah, right here. If I come backwards, this one is the negative pi over 10. So that means our y-axis is somewhere in here. I mean, I don't have to get technical. It's not right in the middle either, but it's somewhere in here. I don't really care exactly where it's at. And then I need all positive y values. So I got to go up to 3 as my highest one, so I'm going to have to squeeze it in here. We've got that new horizontal axis that was up 2. You don't need to do the dotted line, I just like it. It makes it easier to graph. And then we start graphing at the pi over 15 is our first point. Pi over 15, I'm at the 2 on the axis. Then I come down. Don't use that y-axis as one of your points. Skip right over it. Your next point is here at the negative pi over 10, which is up here. Then I come back. Any questions there?
Are you using green pen?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if I was like.
No, it's green.
I'm just noticing that now.
All good?
That's why everybody's written their own.
Okay, we're going to do one like Bailey missed today, because I know that's a common one. Negative 1 plus 3 halves
We've given 2 opportunities.
cosine x over 2 plus 3 pi. Okay, what is my b number that's inside the parentheses here? Not 2, it's 1/2. This is x divided by 2. What I could do is rewrite this as 1/2 x. So I see the b is a 1/2. The 1/2 is what I want to take and write outside of the parentheses.